Draft Day is here with PubSportsRadio.com. This is your hot topic video for today. Jeff, it's been weeks. We've been waiting on the draft. Tonight, the draft is finally here. We are gamblers. The odds are moving. And I got to say, Jeff, you know what we get a kick out more than anything? I saw you live on Twitter this morning. The smoke screens are in full effect. Odds are moving. Jeff Nadu, welcome to the draft.
Yeah, Donnie, it has felt like 6 months since we were able to bet on. Like, I've been betting horses, as you know, but outside of that, there is I don't think there is anything to bet on. I mean, outside of, like, you really got
table tennis and Madden Sims? Yeah, come on, man.
Yeah, this is actually real stuff. I actually got, Donnie, I did, like, I put all my props down, and I was actually putting in, like, money lines with them to see how much it cost to bet each prop, and I felt great. It was like, wow, this actually means, and this isn't fake. This is real. So yeah, I'm excited.
No, it's going to be a lot of fun to go over because finally, as you said, there's stuff that is live that's bettable with some tangible information. But I got to tell you, when we look at these prop bets across the board, it's always about getting value. Sure, when we talk about an equated, Jeff, to what baseball, like the Yankees minus 180 versus the Tampa Bay Rays or something like that, you're going to get some value opinions there that even if you have to lay some money, you can find some odds that make sense towards you. So there's a lot of people out there, Jeff, before we even get into the picks, a lot of people say this, like, oh, it's not plus money, I'm not taking it or this and that. There is value with odds that you have to lay 180 or higher.
As many of you know, I'm the prop king. I know there are many that say they are. I am the best in the NFL and NBA draft. It's that simple, Donnie. And I will tell you this. If you want to make money, this is a very simple situation. You cannot be scared to lay prices. Because sometimes you've got to lay minus 400. There's a reason a prop is minus 800 because it's going to win. Nobody wants to lay 800 to win 100. It's not sexy to do that. But then if we look back to Floyd Mayweather against Conor McGregor, arguably the easiest bet in the history of sports, most bettors did not want to lay 450 to win 100 on Floyd Mayweather. It's just not sexy. You want the nice payout. You want to get 3-1 on your money, 4-1 on your money. The thing is, though, Donnie, most times underdogs are underdogs for a reason. They lose. You've got to be willing to lay prices. I'm not telling you to lay a unit on every bet that we talk about or you're looking for, but you've got to be willing to lay prices.
No, you're exactly right. And case in point right here, Jeff, I'm looking at a prop bet here for Joe Burrow to be drafted number one doesn't matter what team, Jeff, number one overall tonight, minus 6,000. He's not slipping tonight, right? If you had money, like shoebox money under your bed just to make a couple $100 and you had it, so wouldn't that be an easier price to just drill and be like, hey, I don't even have to watch the draft tonight?
Yeah, I think it's about as close to a lock as you can get. Yeah. And there will be plenty. I mean, the problem is you got to find books that are willing to take, and there will be books that are willing to take that. If I could find a book that would take $100,000 on that, I would. And if I had $100,000, I would bet it.
Yeah, I mean, most probably aren't going to be doing that, but let's hit the crux of it today, Jeff, because we've got some prop bets. So, and again, the best part about that is a lot of people see videos from day to day, Jeff, talking about, I already saw those prop bets. These odds are changing each and every time, and I'm sure they're going to change from right now that we're shooting this video mid-afternoon right up to the draft. Let's go over some prop bets, Jeff, that you have your eye on today.
Yeah, I have plenty, and, there are sites that do great jobs with what they're listing. So, for instance, like Bet Online, a very good book. You and I have talked about them before. Mm-hmm. They have a couple different groupings of props. So they'll have what a team will take, offensive or defensive player. Then you have your players and where they're going to go. And then they get into the totals. So like how many defensive players are taken, how many players from Auburn are drafted, that kind of thing. So let me get into a couple here, Donnie. Look, I'm going to come out and say it. This is one of my favorites. Will Trevon Diggs be a first-round pick? I've continued to throw that out there. I just think he's too good. I think he's obviously shown that he is a first-round talent. He's got the size. He's got prototypical corner size. I think he's versatile and can play multiple positions. And look, being from Alabama obviously helps. A couple other ones, Donnie. Ones that you're going to have to lay prices on, but I think they're pretty likely to come in. One would be under 4 quarterbacks drafted in the first round. I think 3 are obviously a lock. The 4th, I think, is got a shot, but I don't think he's got much of a shot. So it's not going to lose, Donnie. The likelihood of you losing is like minus 300 on under 4 quarterbacks. That's something that I would lay over the Joe Burrow prop. That has no shot to lose. There's not going to be 5 quarterbacks taken. It's just not going to happen. There are 3 that will definitely be taken. I think Jordan Love, I think you're starting to see where he could maybe be a top 20 pick or not even get drafted at all. And I think there's only like one or two people saying he'd be a top 20 pick. I don't necessarily see it at this point. I had thoughts about it, but I don't think it's going to happen. So for me, I got to go under 4.
I know you like prop bets, and I know you like betting the drafts and all drafts for that matter. It's kind of interesting because usually we have the lay of the land. And what I mean by that is a lot of the times you have these hardened prices set in stone where you have that overall consensus because it's like a traveling pack of reporters where each team goes to pro day to pro day to pro day to pro day, trade those, exchange it, and therefore those leaks come out like, boy, the Dolphins really like this team, or the Eagles, the Dolphins really like this player, the Eagles really like this player. I see a lot of people out there, specifically from the national beat writers, go, get ready for some wild swings on teams or players that you think are going to go in a certain spot and they're not even going to be close. Talk a little bit on that betting into something where it's maybe a little bit of the unknown on there.
Yeah, and I think once you get in, Donnie, to how many players at a position will be drafted, you really have to kind of get rudimentary to it and just say to yourself, okay, I trust the mock that I created and what the general public and the people that are doing drafts think as well. Cumulatively, actually just sitting there and counting how many you think are going to be drafted. So, for instance, defensive backs, Donnie, okay, 6.5 is the number. How many defensive backs? Now, obviously, safeties are included as well in that number, but it's simply just about counting. And if you have 6.5 and you think 8 or 9 are going to be drafted, then it's obviously you want to take the over. You've got to be able to have some wiggle space around where if 1 or 2 aren't drafted, you're still covered in what you're doing. So yeah, I think, those are ones that I have a lot more than others. So like, for instance, Donnie, total Georgia players drafted over 1.5. Obviously personnel helps. So the question is, we know Andrew Thomas is a first-round pick. That's a lock. It's really about deciding, do you believe Isaiah Wilson or DeAndre Swift are drafted in the first round? I don't think Swift is drafted in the first round, and I think Wilson is a really fringe type player. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if he's the first pick of the second round. But I'm willing, Donnie, at plus 200 to take a shot on under 1.5 because to me it's a coin flip on whether both those two get drafted, and I'm going to get plus money. I'm going to basically get 2-1 on my money that neither are drafted. So I'm willing to take a shot there. Same in case in point with Auburn. Okay, Auburn has a lock. Derek Brown's getting drafted. It's the top 10 pick. You also have to ask yourself, though, can the corner from Auburn get drafted? Noah Igbinoghene. He's a tough name to pronounce. But, Donnie, I've heard in NFL circles he's a lot more coveted than mock drafts covet him. So, like, certain drafts won't have him in there. But the NFL people like him. He's a versatile kid. He can do a lot. He had a great pro day. So there's a lot to like about him. I'm willing to take a shot that he's drafted. So I'm basically getting a coin flip at plus 260 or whatever the prop is. So I'm willing to take shots with certain, especially when I'm getting plus money. A couple others, Donnie, just quickly.
Yep.
Henry Ruggs over 13.5, I think makes a lot of sense. I guess I just don't. I think with the amount of offensive linemen and receivers that are going to be in that 8 to 14 range, I just don't see a spot for him. I love Ruggs. I think he's a terrific player. I think it's going to take really for this to happen, Donnie, maybe a team moving up. So I think the team that we've got to worry about in this prop is San Francisco at 13. They're the only team that I think either takes Ruggs or trades, and then that team takes Ruggs. So maybe Denver moves up a pick or two, or the Eagles move up to get Ruggs. That's going to be the way that prop loses. But I'm confident that Ruggs is more of like a 14, 15 range as opposed to a 13. So I'm willing to take a shot there. And this is probably the best prop on the board, Donnie. If you were going to bet a prop, this should be the number one. K'Lavon Chaisson, defensive end, edge rusher out of LSU. I just don't see under 16.5 coming in. I just don't see a spot for him. I just don't. As I said, Donnie, there's so much talent on the offensive line in this draft, the receivers in this draft. I just don't see a defensive end being that important. And especially early on, you have players, I think, that are a little bit more coveted over Chaisson. Obviously, a guy like Javon Kinlaw is, to me, a little bit more coveted than what Chaisson is. I had Chaisson in the 18 to 22 range. I think that makes a lot of sense. Maybe Jacksonville, pick 20, somewhere around there. That would be where I'd think he'd go. So 16.5 seems a little rich. I'll go over. Final one, Donnie. I know we're short on time here.
Yep.
This is a prop to take a shot with. Okay. Total shot. I wouldn't be betting your mortgage on this. I would take a half a unit. I'd take a shot with it. It's plus 350. Will there be a tight end drafted in the first round? Now, I know it's a shot, but I'm starting to hear a lot about New England, like in this kid out of Notre Dame, Cole Kmet.
Mm-hmm.
He's a former baseball player, kind of Jeff Samardzija type. He played baseball, played football. Samardzija ends up choosing baseball. A lot of people thought Kmet would choose baseball. He stayed in, chose football. Why do I feel like Bill Belichick, he knows what a tight end can do for a young quarterback, especially a really good tight end. Cole Kmet's a terrific player. It wouldn't surprise me if Bill says, you know what? I think we like our defense right now. We like what we have. Let's go out and get a big tight end that can really help us. Maybe a type like a Gronk can be down the road. I'm starting to feel maybe even the Packers take a shot with a tight end as well. I think that's worth the shot, plus 350, over a half a tight end.
Now, if we keep with the Patriots, Jeff, to end this video here, how about these latest movers? When the market for teams to draft Tua Tagovailoa opened up, the Patriots were listed at 100 to 1. If we check this morning at Fox Bet, Jeff, they're down to 11 to 1. How about that?
Yeah, I think there's a growing sentiment, Donnie, and I'm just saying a small growing sentiment. I'm not saying it's a high growing sentiment. But let's say that the Dolphins take Herbert, and let's say the Chargers decide, you know what? We're not going to take Tua. Tua drops because no one in that range is going to take a quarterback. I think the feasible opportunity would be him to go at 13. The Niners say, you know what? We're not taking him. We'll trade him to the Patriots. Who was it? I think it was Peter King. He actually mentioned that in his mock draft. He thought that Tua could fall because of the injury concerns, and maybe the Chargers feel like they're good with who they have. And you look at, Donnie, the sentiment around the rest of the teams. Cardinals ain't taking a quarterback. Falcons, Browns, Jets, Raiders, they're not taking a quarterback. San Francisco, they have another pick in the first round. Why not trade out?
You might be able to even if you're the Patriots at that point, if there's no need for a quarterback, they're not going to hold you hostage for trading up for that pick, knowing that there's not going to be a huge market to go up and take that guy. Just some interesting stuff to talk about, Jeff. But it goes live tonight, 8:00. Commissioner's going to be in his basement, much like everybody else, and he could do his own YouTube show, I guess. There, technically. Go ahead.
I also love how he's. It's all of a sudden he loves the booing. They've done a charity around. Did you see that?
Yeah, it's a way to turn it around. It's always nice where you're hated everywhere you go. Yeah, it's wonderful.
He's doing the I hate Steven Singer thing. He's trying to get people to say, what is I hate Steven Singer? But then it's turning around. He knows that the reverse, and that's what I do, Donnie. Yeah. Reverse hating. I know people hate me, but it benefits me when they watch me. So it all works. Donnie, me and the commissioner have more in common than you might think.
There you go. That's what we do here at pubsportsradio.com. Hot topic tonight. Finally, the draft gets underway. And keep in mind also, guys, with pubsportsradio.com, the fun doesn't stop tonight, does it, Jeff? You got the draft on Friday and Saturday. We'll keep you updated with everything that goes on. Jeff's putting out good blogs left and right here. And also, we will be back tomorrow with another hot topic. I got to tell you, Jeff, tomorrow's hot topic, I got to say, is it going to be one of those rants against the Philadelphia Eagles and who they took in the first round? You will have to find out tomorrow. He's Jeff Nadu. I'm Donnie Seymour. We'll be back tomorrow with another hot topic right here on pubsportsradio.com.